right. Once again, here with our Punky and friends. Once again, Dansan.
Hello.
And yes, today we're going to be talking about news that came out this past weekend. It has been a shock to every fan of The Last of Us. Um, and yeah, where should we start with this? So this was actually in the weekend. I think it was probably on Sunday night, maybe.
It was apparently the same day that they announced that they were going to uh, what was the gist of it? It was like the same day that they said that they were going to delay it, or they solidified the date because it was delayed
Yeah, it was delayed. Yeah,
with everything that's happening in the world
right.
lately. I
Um,
wonder when that was.
yeah. So first, this is their
Yeah,
second delay because it
that's
was.
what it is.
Yeah,
It's the same day that they confirmed that it was supposed to come out June 19th.
exactly.
After I said that it was infinitely delayed.
Yes. So right now it's coming on June 19th. Because before it was May something. Uh, But first, the original release date was on February. Then they delayed it to May. Oh gosh, I imagine the fans like. Um. So this game had a lot of controversy, but before we get there, let me read this article. Of course, there won't be no spoilers here. We're not talking about this kind of illegal stuff that has been going on, but I'm going to read a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, when Sony and Naughty Dog said they were delaying The Last of Us Part 2 indefinitely, a few weeks ago, it was in part to make sure that everyone gets to play the game. Around the same time, ensuring that we are doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. So yeah, of course they try to cover that on Twitter. I I do follow Naughty Dog on Twitter, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they state this. Sony and Naughty Dog state this kind of stuff. So it was them both. Skipping to the other paragraph. While Sunday night's original YouTube and Reddit postings broadcasting the spoilers have already been taken down. In order to copies are still relatively easy to find if you're looking. Yes.
Yeah.
So
So it's already out there. You could
yep.
you could find it if you wanted.
Yeah. So I mean, internet's fast. I mean, this is this is the
Yep.
internet.
Stupidly fast.
Yes. Um. So basically, this supposedly is like an employee that basically he or she is in the home, maybe working remotely because we're all doing this. uh,
Yeah.
so I guess it's been for months now that I have been hearing that Naughty Dog's employees are not getting their paycheck, and there has been this scandal that even in Naughty Dog, you know, employees have been leaving the studio, like
Mm-hmm.
resigning or quitting. It has been crazy for the past few months. Now hearing this, and I'm like, okay, where is this money going? Instead of their employees. I mean, I'm like, then what's going on? What's the holdup on paying your employees? But still, I do actually going to go into both things. I know Naughty Dog's not paying their employees, and the employees are getting like, if you don't
Probably
pay me,
Crunch.
exactly. If you don't
Probably
pay me,
Crunch also.
I'll release I'll release some spoilers. And they know for a fact that that is illegal. They can charge them legal charges, at least in
Yep.
prison or a lot of amount of money. So I think this employee has been taken down, maybe fired already. If it was actually an employee, um, I think it was, but because it was legitimately, you know, spoilers like cutscenes and
Yep.
actual, it was legit stuff there. It was wow. So basically, it has been a few. This week has been very heavy for the fans because a lot of fans, they don't actually like the plot. Um, even though it was
Oh man.
shocking that it was like, okay, they spoil it to me, and then like, oh, the plot seems whack. And I'm like, oh shit. I knew that some of agenda was going on in this type of game. So yeah, before we get there, I do want to emphasize a little bit of your side of Dan about the spoiler thing. Um, was it actually fair, or was it actually uh, reasonable for that employee to just spread out because he or she was not getting paid? I mean,
um. Well, the simple answer to me is no.
correct.
That wasn't up for them to do. They knew full well what they were doing.
Mhm.
Um, they guaranteed have contracts and non-disclosure
Mhm.
agreements, and
Right.
it was I guarantee you there's like a whole company culture of like trying to keep quiet on this. I mean, after all, they managed to do it for years.
Right.
Um, I think everybody sucks here. Because I know this has like I know there's just the factor of crunch time in video games too. That's kind of what I thought it was also coming down to.
Right.
Also,
Mhm.
it sounds like it was even more money related than I had realized. This is already like an incredibly stressful time, and there
Right.
are bad people out there, even in the world today that are doing completely unreasonable things.
Right.
Like I don't know, like touching all the meat in the supermarket with your bare hands or whatever. Like in it,
Yeah. Yeah.
just generally being like a terrible person.
Exactly.
Um, so I think this was like a bad apple, and there are better ways to go about this because that's not fair to like the rest of the team
Exactly.
that managed
Exactly.
to stay
All right.
quiet this whole rest of the time. It's not up to them to have their own sense of justice. Like this is just like a rage baby kind of move. This isn't like a
Right.
proper kind of way to go about it. Like,
Exactly.
do you want to talk about like unfair working conditions? Then you go like properly through a legal system, like through a lawyer to go through your contract.
Exactly. There's many
Um,
ways.
yeah, to pursue, contact like I don't know what to do because I'm not in a situation like I don't know, Better Business Bureau or something to make sure you're compensated for your wages
Correct.
and stuff like that. So it's not really fair. It's just like everybody sucks here. I think.
Exactly. I mean,
Um,
the whole team
yeah,
is into blame. It's been going downhill with Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog is the PlayStation kind of studio that has been pushing the limit of the PlayStation for the past few years. I mean, if you look
yeah, they're
at
the front runner
uh,
now.
yeah, if you look today at Uncharted 4 or Uncharted Lost Legacy, was it the spin-off one? They still look good today. I mean, they
Yes.
have not, uh, you know, it looks like this generation still, even though it was, the games are like 4 or 5 years old. They still freaking look good. And that was in the beginning of the generation. And Naughty Dog has been known for these kinds of games, of pushing the limit of the console. And seeing this, it's like, okay, I know this employee is very mad, and I think this is not the only employee that it's mad at, not receiving the money. There could be others
Yep.
too. But this one just, took it very far,
Their
and
actions
just
could very well be harming the other employees that are
exactly.
already mad to begin with.
Exactly. There's ways to just be like, okay, if you don't pay me, I'm not gonna work. That's fair. It's like I'm not going to work. I mean, a lot of people has done that in the past, and it doesn't actually hurt anybody. Like, okay, you're not paying me. I'm not going to touch my computer. I'm not going to edit any bugs. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like if I'm having a bad time, everybody should have a bad time, and that's what we're all feeling right now. It's like, okay, and I can see like Naughty Dog right now and Sony being like, wow, how do we fix this? Let's do a release date. Like immediately, I think it was the day after. It was like, okay, release date, June 19, and then
Oh,
go
this
to.
article said the same day. So I wonder what happened first.
Was it at the same day? Let me check here.
That's what this particular article
Oh
says.
yes. It was the same day.
So I wonder
Yeah.
what happened first.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, of course, it was the. Yeah, it was the freaking spoiler, man. Yeah, it's all because of that. Cause right now they don't have a choice. They don't have any other kind of like excuse to like delay it even more since the spoilers are out there uncontrollably. It's Sony cannot do anything right now besides getting the guy who actually spoiled everything legal charges. I don't know, but it's already spreading the internet. It's so hard to just take down articles when they already copy and paste it to other websites. It's just so
already out there.
yeah,
big
it's
time.
just so hard right now. Like it's inevitable. It's oh gosh. So yeah, there's another part of the story here besides the employee, the fans. So the fans right now, they're just not liking the story. They're very pissed at this kind of spoiler, and they realize the story is not great as the first one. And yeah, I really hate these kinds of things on sequels.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, like, if you want to do a sequel, make it better than the first one. And I know that it is hard to do, but at least make an effort of it. I mean, like, even fans, hardcore fans, said, I'm not going to buy this game because of the agenda and all that shit. Like, that heavy, dude. Like, wow. From a hype,
Didn't realize it was like that.
yeah, dude, it's heavy. Like
Yeah.
right now, Naughty Dog is facing like exposure because they have been exposed. The fans don't like the game already because of the plot. Because besides the gameplay, The Last of Us has been known because of the story, not just because of the gameplay. It's because of the characters, the storytelling. It is all about that. But on this one, it seems that the fans, when, they just don't like it. Period. It's just Naughty Dog went to another route on an agenda of, LGBTQ community, and fans don't like it. and I know Ellie is has this, uh, gay sexuality. I
Yeah.
don't actually mind at all, but to center her sexuality, their LGBTQ community in the game and focused there, that wasn't exactly in the first game. It was there as a side thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
centralized to that. And that's why people and the fans don't like this.
I
And
see.
like,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like that.
yeah, dude, it's what we call today woke.
Okay.
Yes. So
Well, that's too bad.
yeah, it's very bad. It's I mean, even though the gameplay, we still need to wait until the game comes out and see the actual results. But it seems that the spoilers has been very, you know, controversial. It, because if it was the other way around, it was like, oh, I got spoiled, but the plot is good. But no, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, like now I can say that if Naughty Dog learns from this, other studios from Sony and other studios from any other type of company sees this as a learning thing, because if they go to that route, to the woke, to the you know LGBTQ thing and the feminist stuff and all that thing, political, religious, that that your game sucks. If your game or your movie is not centered in the very beginning as a politic thing, then don't do it. Don't force those stuff in in the media, in your game, in your movie. It's common sense.
It's and even talking about it's a little bit scary, right?
It is.
Because I mean, because the the LGBT community, they're wonderful because they're full. It's like a community full of very creative people and
Indeed, yeah.
very sympathetic towards other people who are in suffering, and
Exactly.
they have their sense of justice and stuff like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly,
But
exactly.
there's somebody out there, with this creative team when writing it. I'm sure it just has like this completely original plot for
Mm-hmm.
entertainment that takes you out of reality, but at the same time, like, and this just goes for just any kind of social movement like that. It could just be like overbearing and in your face a
Yeah,
lot.
it's
So that's where it's really coming from, and it's not because the majority of people a have a problem with that kind of thing as a whole.
exactly.
It's just it's just some people like to use games as entertainment, and
Exactly, yeah.
that's that, and so that can just really offend people more than
Yeah.
others,
Mm-hmm.
and just there just should be a mentality of everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. As in fact, I do not have any kind of hate of I'm not homophobic. I mostly have a lot of gay friends,
Hmm.
like a lot. Like I mean, even my university it was full of them, and I make friends with them, and they're freaking
Yes.
cool. They're really nice people. And of course, if going back to the game and movies and all that, if they shove down your throat religion and
Yeah, the same goes
preaching,
for anything.
it's
Yeah.
it's not good. Even as a Christian man like I am right now, it's not good. It's You need to know how to actually make it not forced, because right
Yes.
now when we see right now on the Naughty Dog thing that it's very woke. It's very like shoved down your throat, and that's why people are totally despising the game, because it's so like you're obligated to play this. You're obligated to that this is the main plot because you. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It is very bad. It's
Yeah. And again, it's scary.
yes,
Like,
I
you can't critique things as
yeah,
art in some
it's
cases like that, because yeah, you can easily get labeled as a homophobe like that. But we're
exactly.
just and you might not be, but some people want to straight up just take it to that degree.
Exactly. These people just took it very far, and take it as this as a learning lesson to all the studios out there, because I've been seeing this in movies and they have failed badly. Their box office is just bombed because of this agenda. Just like X-Men, Dark Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
that's the worst because of that same agenda. So
I just heard it was bad, so
yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
it's really bad. I mean, they should have ended in the Logan, because that was the finale of all the X-Men. But
Yeah.
yeah, but Naughty Dog, Jesus, oh God, I hope. Yeah, I hope this game does do good, but you're not going to have the same sales as the first one. It's gonna be very hard because right now Ghost of Tsushima will be more, shining even more, even though it's a new IP from Sony. So people are
Yeah.
going towards Ghost of Tsushima than your game. So I think they're going to
And
skip your game and go and wait Ghost of Tsushima, which is the next month. The
June. Oh yeah, it's almost exactly a month away.
a
'Cause
month
this,
away exactly. So
yeah,
people can wait. I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is, and I hope in God that uh The Last of Us is good, but hearing from all of this, it's like, man, you guys dropped the ball. But if it's not
yeah,
true, then if it has something more, which I know because Naughty Dog has been very creative with storytelling, besides all the things that have been going on, but at least have good stuff in the game, like character development as always, good storytelling, good gameplay, because I know I love zombies. I love zombie games. I even bought Days Gone, and Days Gone is freaking awesome. I mean,
mm-hmm.
and I love Days Gone, and those are one of the most underrated Sony IP right now. It's like the underdog, but the game is so cool. I mean, the motorcycle mechanic, I love it. I mean, I like going to the gas station
Mm-hmm.
and per
That game
gas.
felt like it just kind of dropped too. I don't know if Sony really put the marketing budget behind it like it needed to. But still, like
Right.
the most impactful thing is when they first showed it at E3. And
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
So I think for the last two games for this generation on the PlayStation 4, which they ending with a big bang. Of course, The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, which is the last game of the PlayStation 4, last IP, last AAA uh,
Yeah,
for the PlayStation 4, and overall this generation has been very great with cool AAA games from Sony. I give you a lot of thanks to Sony because they have been very like pushing their limit right now. Like, we want to deliver the best games, and
yep.
of course, a lot of them did not do as well, but most of them did just great. And just as Final Fantasy 7 remake, which is phenomenal. I mean, I know Sony did
Yeah.
help a little bit, but that's a Square in a game. Right, I know. It's
Yeah, they gave him that year-long exclusivity money.
yeah, exactly. So there's money involved anyways.
Yeah, and then probably tying in the promotion with Butterfinger probably helped.
Right. So
Whatever else they did, I don't know.
exactly. So let's see. Um so what else about this spoiler thing besides the fans being pissed off, Naughty Dog now paying, uh employee angry and spoil everything. Um
Yeah, I'm not sure what else there is to say. I mean, was the very first Last of Us supposed to get a sequel anyway? Is what I'm trying to think. Like,
hmm.
I almost felt like I heard that like it wasn't
It
going
wasn't
to
because
happen.
it had two DLCs, and then it ended into a you know some decent ending.
Yeah,
Um, but the original game without the DLC, ended approaching to a sequel, but it had its own ending. So it has its own closure to the story. You
yeah,
know, it's not like, oh, it's a cliffhanger just like other games and all that, like a major cliffhanger. No, it actually had a decent ending. Very ambiguous, but it was a decent ending. But yeah, I think even though it was, uh, I think people were asking for the sequel. Don't know if I do not remember if fans wanted a sequel or not. But I might have to look back, because if fans were asking for a sequel, then maybe Naughty Dog was actually forced to actually make a sequel, or it was already planned for Naughty Dog to make a sequel. It it all comes to what happened in the past,
yeah.
what actually triggers this this IP, this AAA game from Sony. So yeah, I think this covers up 30 minutes, I guess. Yeah, 27 minutes. It's okay. So yeah, guys, tell me what you think on the comments below. Of course, this has been a tragedy for a lot of people, but hey, there's more games to come on Sony and other platforms too. So yeah, guys, please don't forget to favorite, rate, comment, and subscribe. This has been Zyberpunky.
It's been Officer Dan. Thanks for listening.
See you guys later.